the concept was just so out there that
it was really out there.
A landlord boss wants to become a woman, and I go, sounds like a telenovela. And we're back.
And we're back. So
and I'm back.
And yes, you are too.
We're all back.
You too. Okay, so welcome. So this week, it's my movie, and it's Emilia Pérez. When I first, it was getting a lot of, what do you call it? Hype, but and the idea of it, I was kind of like, that doesn't sound that interesting to me. Well, it kind of sounds interesting. But so when I watched it, I wasn't really expecting much. So I watched this film, and I like the idea. It's like, God, a cartel jefe, right? Escaping his life of violence and hierarchy into a life with a more fit his nature as a rather caring, giving person. It's like, how are you going to pull that off? Anyways, a cartel's boss life is pretty ruthless. And sometimes we find ourselves in a situation, all of us, right? That the only, hopefully not, but the only escape will be like death. It's like, we got to do this because that's our environment, right? So it's from this place I was intrigued with the film. The film was supposed to have a Mexican backdrop, and it does it pretty good, except the actual, it's actually made, the original source material is a chapter from Boris Razin's Acute, which is French. And most of this film was shot in Paris on a soundstage. The director, Jacques Audiard, is French and does not speak Spanish. The original source material is Spanish. No, it's French. Sorry. The cast is a very international, with only one Mexican actor in the main ensemble is Adriana Paz, who plays Epiphanias, who the character trans into, right? The new love interest of Emilia, who is looking for her missing family member and comes to Emilia for help because she does that, right? Even though most of the cast is not Mexican, I read the translator who translated the material from French, and she is very versed in Mexican colloquialism. She speaks the language she uses is very Mexican, as opposed to like Argentinian or Spaniard. So let's see. Oh, one more thing about the actress Karla Sofía Gascón. He was already a successful actor in Spanish soaps and in novelas. Nosotros los Nobles in 2013, where he played the male antagonist. He. Oh, okay. He was a male actor at that time. Okay. He played a male antagonist. Okay. In one of Mexico's biggest homegrown hits. So Karla Sofía Gascón plays the fearsome cartel boss, Manita, who enlists the services of Rita, that's Zoe Saldaña, a young lawyer who is unhappy with her work, to help fake his death and create a new identity for her. For this service, she is paid a fortune. It's like, you just have to do that, and you're never going to, you're going to be set up for life. She doesn't. She's a very good lawyer. Now, I should mention at this time that Manita is married to Jessie, Selena Gomez, and has 2 children with her. He decides 4 years later that he really needs them with him. So again, she sets up a kind of accidental dinner party that the lawyer is at too, and she's sitting next to her and she's talking to her, and the lawyer doesn't recognize her at all. And she presents her thing, and you just see the lawyer's like, huh? Right? So
and immediately thinks,
okay.
Why are you here?
Exactly. Okay, this brings on all. I mean, obviously, Emilia was not thinking this through. She was just thinking. Actually, she was thinking like a man. She was thinking of her immediate need. You know what I mean? I want still have my children. I want to have my. Not like these people are ever going to grow and change and have lives of their own, right? She didn't think that far through. So this creates all kinds of complications. I was really apprehensive about the film because I thought it was going to be so woke, eye roll, right? But I was so enticed by the premise, even though it was supposedly a musical, another eye roll, right? However, my curiosity won out, and for once, I'm very glad about this. I love this film, and I love the ending, and I would really suggest you put The Bias Behind You. I think it's a cultural, the acting is great. I mean, the actress, Karla Sofía Gascón, is wonderful as both the cartel boss and the Emilia character. She's great in both parts. I was like, is that the trans person who's playing like because she was kind of scary. She was like definitely like a.
It's funny. I had to go back and said, wait, was that her playing?
Yeah.
Like I said, Manitas. It's like, I had to look and it's like, oh no, that is her. You can see in the eyes. So,
yes.
Yeah.
So I thought that it's like I think the complication is because she is nominated in the female actress category. But it's other than that, it's kind of like he, whatever, when he is playing the cartel boss, and then she is playing Emilia. She's fantastic. I believed each person. I believed each one. I thought she was great, and I thought the girl that the lady, what's her name? No, not Selena. She was great. Selena was great. She was Zoe Saldaña. Yeah, I thought she was great. I thought the three women were fantastic. You know, they were just really, really good. I don't let the issue is a cultural issue, kind of like the last movie that we did with Patty on the Auschwitz one, right? The actors were wonderful, right? But the movie in this one, it's like the movie's great. But the cultural issues really shouldn't interfere with the film or the actors' performances, which are excellent. So the music, it could have gone, but it didn't bother me that much. No. Okay.
Well, it's funny because, see, I was going to pick it too, only because, for us living in Los Angeles, you go on Sunset Boulevard, there are like 5 billboards. Emilia Pérez, this, and then I think the Golden Globes had come out and got nominated and won. So it happened to be on Netflix, and that's the only reason. Oh, let me pick this one, right?
Right.
So I started watching it, and first of all, I did not know it was a musical. So that sort of floored me. When they go into the first song, and Zoe Saldaña is just, she's there as an attorney on her computer, and all of a sudden she starts singing. It's like, oh no. So that sort of took me off in a weird direction. Then you get into the plot, because you can see that her character is like the success behind the firm, that all her words are being used by the major lawyer or attorney. So you could see, no, she's extremely smart. She knows what she's doing, which is why when they win a case, I think she is then hired by the cartel boss. Same thing. You meet him and it's frightening. Hood over the head, everything. And basically he tells her like, no, not until you agree. Well, you can see who I am and all this, because everything's kept in such secrecy. But he does offer, I think, like $2 million just basically to organize the surgery, make sure it's safe, that
change his identity.
Right. And then
all the legal part of that.
And also to move his wife and kids out of Mexico. So it's like, okay. So I think I stuck with it for the first 40 minutes. And then it's like, okay. Fortunately, the second story I started is when you talked about their dinner in London, where all of a sudden she shows up. And again, This is not a pleasant movie either, because it's showing you how horrible the cartel people are. And so there's this darkness going throughout this entire film. So like you said, when she makes that dinner, the first thing I'm thinking, oh, she's going to clean. Emilia now is going to clean house. She doesn't want because literally Zoe Saldaña's character is the only one, and the doctor are the only two people who know who this person is and what the person has become now. Manitas is now Emilia. So it's like, okay, but I stuck with it, and I have to admit, you're right. The underlying theme for me, if you can get over the transgender and all this, and even to be quite honest, the musical, though there were two musical numbers I liked. When she's talking to the doctors about the rhinoplasty, that had a nice, quick little, poppy thing. But there's actually a very touching scene, because you're right. When Emilia decides, no, I need my children, they come over. And there's, I think, just a very touching scene where the little girl says, oh, I like you. You smell like my dad. And then she sings this song about all the smells. And I thought, and everything, not just, the sweat and this. She's talking about the smoke, the cigar smoke, the whiskey, and she's talking about how you picture a cartel boss smelling. And that sort of intrigued me, because I thought, oh, this is sort of touching, because now it goes... the movie starts off one way and goes, in my opinion, off to another direction.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what sort of makes the film, I think, more interesting, at least to me, because ultimately can a person with the most horrible past in the world truly become a better person once everything's changed? Once they become what they, as Manita said, I want to become what I've always wanted to be. So this is the intriguing part, because even for me, what you said about the Adriana Paz character, because that is an important, the Epiphania character is important, because, the only reason she's connected is, remember, Emilia Pérez uses her influence and her connections of knowing all the people involved to help find the victims of Manitas' victims. Right?
Oh, just all the cartels, I think.
In a way, yeah, exactly. So it changes the perspective of what people now think of this Emilia Pérez, because she's now become a celebrity in a way. But the weird part is that the Epiphania character, she finds out that, they might have information on her husband, and she's told to go to the office. So when she and Emilia meet, Kate takes a knife, and you think, oh, she's going to kill Emilia, like she knows something. And what I like about it is towards the end of the scene, she says, oh, I thought you found my husband. I want to protect myself, because she hated her husband and that lifestyle and everything.
And he was abusive.
Exactly. So I thought, wow, this is a really sort of fascinating, because that darkness is now turning, but the darkness always remains. And it also goes into Selena Gomez's character as well. When she returns, she has another motivation for returning. So to be quite honest, I think you're right. I actually found Selena Gomez's character sort of just plain. I didn't find her special.
Well, she was a cartel's wife.
Well, American wife too. She remember how she says, "Oh, can we go back to America?" She wanted to go back, right?
She explains why because she was criticized for. She's not doing it in the movie for that reason, but
exactly.
It's like, but she is criticized because her Spanish is so bad. But it is explained in the movie.
I agree with you, Lon. I agree with you. It's very bland.
Yeah, but
necessary.
I don't think cartel wives can be that exciting. I mean, God forbid they do anything that's not
But if you watch Only Murders in the Building, she's like a bland there too. She seems like a robot.
But I just thought, okay, but I did think Zoe Saldaña was very good, especially her singing, And that's another thing. I couldn't tell the Spanish. That didn't bother me. Like, a couple of people who I work with, they're Latino, and they said, it's like, sometimes I couldn't even understand her Spanish.
because there's people like, the cholos, not cholo, what do you call that? Third generation Spanish here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Pochos.
Oh,
right,
see,
right.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
they're American. They're like me, a third generation Japanese person.
Their grandmother speaks Spanish. Their mother speaks Spanish, but they don't speak Spanish.
Exactly.
That's the criticism I heard, is that it's like but it's explained in the movie. It's like her sister's in America. She wants to go back to America.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's the
Right.
only thing they mentioned. So she said, "Oh, are we going to go back to America?" He says, "Oh no, we're going back to Mexico."
Except the American
So-
people never call America America.
Oh.
That's what they call it U.S.
Yes. But I will say this: the one thing I did like about it was because of, like you said, the sound staging of the musical numbers. That reminded me of
Really?
the old '60s style, where wasn't. And maybe because I saw Wicked as well, I think, and within the same time frame, that I thought Wicked was this huge, overblown, lots of big music, people dancing, whereas they're very concentrated in small scenes, like I said. And I actually thought it worked very well for some reason. I don't know, but I was put off that I did not know was a musical. In fact, it almost reminded me of watching the Indian films because of how serious the tone is, and yet they're doing these sort of musial numbers.
But I thought too, it's like that. Okay, it's a musical, but it almost sounds like halfway through they changed their mind, and they dropped the music.
The singing seemed to be less and less towards the end, but. As I said, it gets serious towards the end. So it's just very odd, but I don't know what to make of it. It's kind of movie that I'd say, just see it, see if you like it, because you'll know right away. I'd say within the first 30, 40 minutes, you're either going to stick with it or you're not. And I think that's valid, however you look at this movie.
Patty.
What do you think, Patty?
Well, that was a great intro, but when are you going to get to the core of it?
What I'm going to concentrate on is and I'm putting up 2 fingers, the musical. If I had just watched it for 30 minutes, I'd have turned it off. It was horrible songs, horrible singing. I don't know why they put it in there. It came out of nowhere, and then they stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Thank God, but they stopped doing it. But the plot, I think, is very interesting. The lady who played the cartel leader.
That's the same lady. It's
Karla
I know.
Sofía
I'm trying to.
Gascón.
I've given her the benefit of the doubt. I'm calling her a lady. She was really good. I thought all 3 women were really. Everybody was good in it. Lon, I agree with you. Selena Gomez's part was as exciting, let's say, as a mafia wife could be.
There you go. That's exactly right.
But she was so integral in keeping things together, even though she was saying she wants this, she wants to do that, but keeping her home together was the number 1 priority for her, not the other stuff. And I thought that was interesting as she moves along into getting into her new home, is that her focus never changed. It was, I want my home for my children and did she think her husband was dead?
Her husband's dead, but this was the sister. Is this the brother's, her husband's sister? Cousin. Yeah.
You're right. So, except for the music, which was so bad, I don't know why they did it. I'd love an explanation on that. I thought it was a pretty good movie. It kept my interest going. George?
Yes. Well, when I first saw it, I was in the gym and I had my really good headphones. So the first music threw me off, but I thought it was pretty good because I was seeing with the headphones and it was very more modern. I thought they were going for avant-garde musical, not a traditional musical. They were going some new direction, like what's the guy with the tomato cans, the Warhol kind of.
Oh, sure, like Andy Warhol of
so they were
music.
some new futuristic musical. And with my headphones, I was hearing the bass and everything. Okay, this is bad, not bad. But it did throw me off because the movie's so serious. I thought the acting was very solid. The concept was just so out there that
it was really out there.
A regular boss wants to become a woman, and I go, sounds like a telenovela. But let me see. Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost like a rebirth. Living one life, becoming something else. But the lifestyle is always there. It catches up with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you live a lifestyle,
can you ever really
you
leave?
never really leave it. So it kind of shows you that. So that's an interesting point that it makes. I know there was a lot of anger with Mexican people because it depicts Mexico as just this violent place. We say it's not just all violence, but that's a story. That's the point of view they're taking.
He's a cartel boss. Yeah.
Yeah. So also I noticed that when the character becomes female, she's still very aggressive, very male. And then obviously when he was
He's very butch.
yeah, but also because
But she was funny, I thought.
she was good. She was funny, but also she's somebody who's not used to. No, nobody says no to this character, so they're not used to that. And even when they become a woman, nobody's gonna say no to this character. They're still, in a way, they're still that character, even though they're female. So they're still very aggressive. So they kind of still carry that, But I mean, the movie, it is actually, aside from to me, if the movie had no singing, it would have been a really solid, serious movie. It would have been one of those like heavy like Oscar nominee kind of movie, and I can see, oh yeah. So
well, it is Oscar
nominated. It is nominated.
I would say the musical part of it is the thing like, also with me that kind of threw me off. But that I thought it was pretty solid movie.
Okay. Well, I mean, I haven't seen the movie.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to say, I want to borrow a quote from another movie going, can somebody tell me what planet I'm on? Holy Christ. I'll tell you something. I started writing that movie 45 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, only it was an Italian comedy.
It could have been no, it really couldn't have been a comedy.
No.
Oh, I disagree. I can see the French doing a really good comedy version of this.
Italian.
It would have to have a different ending.
Well, no, it has to be Italian.
No, for me, it would be
my
French.
movie has to be Italian.
Well, your movie, but I'd say somebody could do that and be a French movie.
Well, we'll put that movie up, Bob, with Sunset Squash.
Are you referring to a film called Sasquatch Sunset?
Yes.
That's what I had.
That's just quite sounds like a dick.
I do think
she's selling food.
I do think that you made an interesting point of that. Really, the thing is, if you're going to leave your past, you have to leave your past. You know what I mean? That means everything or does your past eventually, is it part of you?
Yeah.
Is it a part of you? I think it's really interesting. You can look at it, you can take it for just what it is, and that's interesting in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can get the more profound vision of it, like about transitioning, going through transitions and changing your life, and what does that mean, and how
does it change the person inside?
Yeah, like does it change? But I thought that was really right what you said. It's like he's a cartel boss. He is not used, but I thought there was one scene that was really great when he's talking to what's her name, Epifia. He's talking, which is the woman she eventually kind of likes, and when she tells her we found your husband, and the lady's crying, and she's like, was I too blunt? Just
right.
like
yes, exactly.
Was I too blunt? It's like she was still trying to find the.
I like the.
Exactly.
I also like that she goes, "Did you really bring a knife?" And she shows the person, pulls out the knife, and Emilia pulls out a gun. She's ready.
And that's what she says. Oh, call me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's grade it.
Okay,
so like I said, this is such an unusual movie. I don't know what to make of it. I will give this movie a 6.
Okay. That's high.
That's very high.
I give it a 4.
Wow, that's low.
I'll give it a 7.
I'll give it a 55 for every minute we spent talking about it.
Okay. So I give it 9. I liked it a lot.
Wow.
Okay.
So we'll be back.
Remember, subscribe, like us, and yes. What?
Please like us. Please like us.
Comment. Watch the movie. Watch the movie before you have opinions. I've had to do this so many times with so many of our movies. I was like, oh, I don't want to watch that. I watched it, I end up loving the movie. Or I really want to watch a movie, I don't like it.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
All right.